Alright, so let's see what we got here. This part here takes a lot of CPU. And look at this beautiful music box. Get ready for this fat part. Hey everyone, this is Aitendo and this is the video breakdown of Colourful. So I want to talk about the behind the scenes of this project. I once asked Loophoof to have a Color House collab, and then he simply accepted. But then I didn't really implement the idea, and one day I thought of inviting Jalmaan into the project. So we three worked together, and then we submitted the song to Ponies. And thankfully enough, it got accepted. And I'm very thankful to have Color House songs be featured on Ponies aside another Color House song by Cosmic Fox, which is called Curse Bloom. Alright, without further ado, let's head into the project. Alright, so what you're looking here is the file project of the Colourful main, and this is the main project. However, I also have the side project which is specialized for the sound design, and we'll talk about it when we'll talk about the drop. So this project here, Jalmaan started first by sending the arps and the chord progression, which sounds like this. And then I figured the melody, which sounds like this. It sounds a lot like Protocol Multiverse, to be honest, because this project is actually inspired a lot by Protocol Multiverse, which is a song I worked on with Asteroid, and it shares the same genre, same type, which is Color House. It's a fusion of color bass plus house. And then these arps here are also similar to Protocol Multiverse. With the 8-bit playing left and right to create some stereo business. So here's the left side, and here's the right side. Together they make some nice stereo business. Alright, and then we got the effects here. This one is a pad from the Disciples Melodic Radiant Volume 1. I created a fake out of it. Then we have this blur effect, which I used this blur effect to blur the entire song of Protocol Multiverse. And then we have the bubbler and some other effects. Those are samples from my collab with Kitsune, and since I truly love those effects, I intended to use it a lot in my projects. Also, we got some impacts from Kashmir and Virtual Riot, respectively. And then in this intro section, we have, first of all, we have the simple pad. This pad here is from Silence 1, and I've been using it a lot. And also we got this wrist sub, which is from Serum, and I created it myself with the saw and the voice of the number of voices of egg, and then I removed this wind one here just to make it not really subby, with some simple effects, of course. And then we have the multiverse arps to accompany the intro. They are playing left and right in a constant panning channel so that they sound really stereo. And also I added the water folly from the color base volume 3 sample just to make it watery. It doesn't really sound too obvious when you are listening to the real song, but it somehow does give you some nice vibes so that it doesn't really sound empty. Also, I added this animal in forest sound effect, which I know it sounds long, but it gives some kind of purpose to have some natural vibes in the background. And I have been using this a lot. And then we got these snaps here from Kashmir. One snap wasn't enough, so I combined two sounds into one to make some strong elements. So here we added some tambourines and a little kick here to accompany the next part. And then we have these strings to accompany the 8-bit melody. So it sounds a lot more fuller. Also, I apologize for the lagging CPU. My laptop is not really good enough to record some heavy stuff like this, but I hope you understand. Okay, the next thing we have the vocal chop, which is done by loophoof. And then we have this vocoded vocal chops here, which is not from the vocodex, but it's from manipulator. In fact, you can easily vocode stuff with manipulator, which is insane. Okay, now we are in this pre-build section. Man, this section takes a lot of CPU. Maybe that's because of the manipulator doing. I bet that's the chords they are doing. I don't know. It just doesn't really feel right sometimes. Okay, let's talk about the bass here. So the basses come from this one here, this bass fade and reverb pause from the Cylinder 1 preset, and then the sub bass also comes from the Cylinder 1 with the sidechain using the manual sidechain along with the. I know the functionality of Kickstart tool here is that you can use the MIDI node to start the sidechain, but that time I didn't have. I was using a crack, and one day it came to a problem until I had to buy it myself. Also, the chords. These strong chords here come from 4 layers. This one social. This one here is from the social. This one is from the heart. This one here comes from gun chord, playing some high notes to support some highs. And this one here plays the low key which is from the same one as in the first one called pad heart. This is to support the chord pattern so that it sounds fuller, like it sounds bigger. And if we combine it together, it creates some big vibes that leads to the drop. Also, we have this art by Jalmaan. And while the pre-build is playing, this art here is also playing. Okay, this melodic fill here, I made this myself. I used to sound this sign project to create this melodic fill consisting of layers from samples, and this one here is good enough to fill the empty section here. And then we wanna talk about the progress that leads to the build. So here we wanted to low pass everything, and then we come back to the high pass so that it comes to life shortly after it goes down. And now for the build up, we have the pad, we have the multiple stereo as usual, and then we have this vocal enhancer. And with its volume automation that goes down. And then we have this down lifter, like we have to here. For the build-up drums, we decided to use the build-up drums from the protocol Multiverse. And then when I handed this project to Jalmaan, he added the build-up drum here. So that it gets more exciting when it comes to the drop. And then we have some uplifters from Ultrasonic. Let's not forget about the feeling here. I really love combining the signature feels like this in some of the exciting house projects, like how I did in Colourful. So it sounds like this. It feels like layering feels here just makes things better. Okay, about this color base for build up, I used the base shot from the base jam project, which is also used for the drop. I believe it's already sidechained. Okay, this feels to the drop here. I wanted to make it sound like at least exciting when it comes to the feel, and it always has been some kind of challenge. Maybe not really much of a challenge, but the challenge is to make the feels as entertaining as possible. So we have these drum fills from Kashmir with layered fills here. They make the feel sound interesting, and then we have some melodic stuff from Sharp Scala bass. So this Let's Go Fox here is from the Hyperbeam sample pack, but it is also layered by this rainbow dash saying let's go. So it sounds like this. Let's go! When it comes to two voices, it gets very exciting. Let's go! Alright, speaking of the drum, the drums are pretty much simple. There are samples from ultrasonic future bounds, which I don't have, but the samples I'd say are really great, are really helpful. And now we have this structure here, which I'd say it's gonna be interesting to explain. We basically use a lot of samples to make a feel. This one here, I somehow forgot to add the impulse in the convolver. I really wanted to make it colorful, but then I discovered without colors, it just still sounds interesting. This one here comes from the Super Luminal Remix sample pack, and I really love this one here. I just needed to adjust the pitch into something like this, and if we layer it together, sounds really great as a step. Now let's head into this kind of complexer here. They come from the bass fills 2 channel here, which I say it's yet another simple mix with just with the EQ being like this, just to cut the 4,000 frequencies. Probably simply just that. They come from so many samples. This one here is from the Spicy Rhythm Trance Volume 2, and then we have this shark sample, and then we have some other disciple samples, and this one here is from the console sample pack. And if we chop it together, it sounds like this. It's just about the art of chopping sounds here and there to make some interesting complexers in order to fill the drops, and so it doesn't really sound empty. Also, the next thing here, we have this one here. They come from samples as well, just to ease up the flow of creating some certain complexes like this. And then we have this one here, mod step. This one's the Sharks power base, and this one as well. Adding some other tonal sounds that don't really sound forgotten, or that don't really sound like the sound gets through the processing of colorizing, like for coding, resonating, or else. And also we have another variation of the second complexer here. These ones are from the Melodic Rhythm Volume 1, and yeah, probably pretty much it. And then we mix it together just like that. Now let's talk about the color shot here. We have this one that comes from the sound design project. And then we have some glitches to fill the sound. They don't really sound visible when you are listening to the real song, but it does help. It does help the bass attack. And then we have this additional bass attacks. So this one here comes from these layers here. This one's for the breakdown bar. These two basses here. And this sub bass here plays the sub just to help add some nice frequencies to the bass section. Maybe just to make sound not really empty. And then we have this side bass here to improve the transient of the main bass itself. And then we have this laser sound, in which I took the laser from the outside sample. I don't know where it was, but this laser sound here just helps a lot. Then we have the spark elements just to improve the transient even more. With the help of this percussion, it should sound sick, and then it strengthens the main bass line of the drop. Also, the mix is just simple. We use OTT distortion and then EQ to cut the lows. With some other sounds being like this, just a simple EQ and then yeah, probably just OTT and EQ. And then we have the channel. Yeah, this one is there. Just EQ and kickstart and some other stuff. Oh, actually, I wasn't really referring to that. Okay, it's just this. It's just simple. All right. This breakdown here, you play some vocal chops with the chord fills here from the breakdown part, and then we have the bass and sub as shown before, and then we have this melodic fill from the SAB, which I chopped to make some nice melodic fills. And also, we have this drop fill, which comes from the normal 8-bit itself. I just really loved it. It also resembles the breakdown from the protocol multiverse, and we have this chord fill as a riser. The original key plays in the A sharp then C, so we increased it to two semitones. And also we had some help from the bubble lift and the fills. Also, let's not forget about this uplifter. They are good enough to fill the drop. Again, layering the fills. It's just something I really love to do, and it makes it interesting. The second part here, we have the hi-hats and some hey sounds. And also we have this hi-hat loop here. It's not necessarily the hi-hat, but they are really helpful for the main bass line. Probably the same like in the first half. Then we have this one. So about this part here, I simply ended the first drop with just like that, and then I handed a project file to have Jalmaan work into it, and he worked on the ending of the first drop. That gave me the inspiration to continue since that time we didn't really have much time to finish, so we decided to go straight to finish the project with the ideas we had. All right, that covers pretty much the of the first half. Now let's get into the sound design. All right, so here we are at the sound design project. So we start from this one here, which is the main bass sound for the colorful the main bass line itself. It is truly CPU intensive, so I think we wanna break them down one by one. So this B shot here comes from Musicore Elevation, and they play both in the B notes, the ones up and the other ones down. And then we mix with something like this. And then the sound should be like this. This one here is the vocoded sound, which comes from Fido and Zero. I layer two basses in one. This one here, I'd say, sounds like this. Probably just the simple sound. I don't know what sound this one truly is, but this one here really plays a nice spot for to be forgotten. And also, you really know why this one is CPU intensive. And the serum layer comes from this one here, an amateur grow I made. And if we combine it together, they really sound good as a one shot bass. But then we decided to entirely forget it with this E minor impulse. And then we forgot it with some simple mixing of just OTT and EQ. The setting is just simply like this. Like we just wanted to mess up with the forgotten setting so that we can get the desired volume, the desired bass sound. And it truly makes it CPU intensive, pulling so much CPU. And then we have 5 samples, which this one here comes from the melodic rhythm volume 1, and this one here is from the Charlie sample pack volume 1. The main sound is C, but I transpose it to E. And then we have this this part from the charity sample pack again, but in the volume 2. Some pets, some good to create some color shots without actually having to focus honestly. I would have left the spaces just like that and we added a melodic stuff just to play some convenient color based technique without having to use familiar color based techniques. And then we have this one here. This one is from the Shark Skull base. I was totally silly enough to add some weird sounds, but they feel the sound really well. And then we have this one from the Spicy Rhythm Drums one too. This one's a glitch. And if we combine it together, it sounds like this. It's truly CPU intensive, but I really love the result of it. Now let's get into this blip loop here. So the blip loop here comes from the 3x oscillator with the notes playing a very low decay time, so that it creates some convenient random loop notes. What I did here is I created a long note and then I randomized the notes using this one here. Or maybe I use this arpeggiator to randomize notes because they can randomize notes into oblivion, creating some nice sounds like this. Such loopy here, such bubbly. And then we shifted its frequency up and down to make the loop. And then we want to talk about these loops here that will be used in the second drop. So we decided to make an offset of these two glyphs and loops just to play some stereo business. Well, at least we wanted to ship it again. And then we added the normal blip loop sound. And then we combine it together, but with such a big latency comes from this freeform phase with the adjustment just like this. And then we have the control file using the impulse response from Chimes the I spec with the modification of this one here being further shortened. Then we have the OTT SUS, another convolver, just a very little convolver to at least make it colorful. And we had the extensive EQing, just like this with the setting of linear phase. That's why it creates such a huge latency, but with some interesting result. Now let's get into this one here, this melodic fill. This sounds here come from 3 samples. This one here, this bass shot. This one's from also from the music core in the lead shot. And this one here is the plug to help the other layers. And they create some nice melodic fills together. And then we have this one here, which I really wanted to create some quintuplet fills. And these pieces also come from the samples. This one's from the Constellate sample pack. This up and down samples here. I just really love the quintuplet pattern, and then I created the quintuplet pattern, and then we have the bass here. It just feels so colorful. And this transient here, and then another bass comes from the SCB, and this plays a very great transient. And if we combine it together, it sounds really and strong. That's pretty much of the sound design breakthrough for now. And we're about to jump to another one. Alright, back to the main project. So here's the second half. And to fill the emptiness of the fake out after the first drop, we also introduced the scenes from Shark Skull Base. With some settings from here, we played some delay, ambience, and some other settings. This one here somehow had an error, so we couldn't reload it. Though I do have delay, honestly. And then we come up into the second breakdown, which is quite similar to the first one. the first break with another melody that comes from this melodic block here, the flex preset called Pure Weather, and the other one here is from Zealand 1 called Click 2. It creates some nice variation in order not to sound to generate to same. And I apologize for this very spiking CPU. We are about to see it, where Jalmaan manipulated the melodies of the vocal chop in order to make it sound very variative. Yeah, we don't manipulate that. It manipulates the vocal sound. And then we have some different drum pattern from the first one to make it sound more we are in a certain party. Now we are heading into the second rebuild, which I'd say it's some kind of a silent interlude. I basically wanted to create the same rebuild like in the first, like I wanted to make it sound interesting, well at least variative, but that time I kind of wanted to implement my interlude style being using the music box or a piano guitar duo. So let's head into the pre-build with this fake cut here that leads to the pre-build. It plays such a nice refurb just to make the transition smoother. And then we have the music box that comes from two layers. They are from Labs, called Resonator Music Box and Glockenspiel. And if not mistaken, I used all the mixing settings from light after dark. And it creates some sparkling elements for the music box. And then after 15 seconds, we started to introduce elements before we head into the build-up. Mainly the 8-bit we use from previous parts. And then this build-up here is quite similar to the first build-up, but with some adjustments like this. This time in this build-up, we introduce the lead that leads to the hard wave drop, and then we have this manipulated vocal chop just to make it sound way more exciting. And then we have a little kick to support the build up, which I think this plays different than in the first build up, especially on this one here. They play really well to support the build up drum. Almost forgot, we also use the master setting, being and smile, and the stereo enhancer to make it mono when it comes to the pick, and then we monoize it before we revert everything into normal. Now here comes the second drop. I wanted to make the second drop sound even more variative in order not to sound boring. So when Jalmaan came up with the hard wave idea, I simply agreed and it sounded really, really good. I was like, just lift this hard wave to me, and then it really worked well. I really wanted to make some heavy hitting hard wave, and then it sounds like this. Okay, this kick here, probably a normal kick, and the snares, we used to the snare layers from the ultrasonic, and then we have the kickstart setting just to set the timing of the sidechain, and then we have the bass fills, simply almost playing the first drop, but then it turned out into the hard wave. Hold on, I almost forgot. Okay, this lead comes from 4 layers, being this one here from Aspire is called Super Lead 1. And this one's from the 80s MLM from Spire as well. This one's from the Silence called Emotion. And this one is called More. And what if I play them individually? And for the lead here, the mixing comes from the channels 20 to 23 with some simple mixing on each lead, except for this one which has the help of Saturn, and then we mix it intensively, being OTT, distortion, EQ, sus to it's more like smoothing some harsh frequencies, but not using sus. We use the Pro Q3, and then the wave shaper, another EQ, simply kickstart, and yeah, the last four here are just for effects. And then we have this colorful clip here, which comes from the sound design I just recently showed. The main key is in F minor, so I decided to pitch that down just one semitone. With the mixing being like this, simply increasing the stereo's high end, and then we added the reverb just to make it sound right. Like we don't really want to sound too dry. And also we have this fat sub here. This playing such a fat sub. Honestly, the preset itself is not really fat, but then I added things that makes it very fat. Starting from this EQ here, just to boost the high and cut some lows, just to make it sound very gritty in the high end, while preserving lows from cutting the certain frequencies. And then we have this blood overdrive that fattens the bass. It just sounds very fat, but it's not enough. We added the distortion to fatten this out just a bit more. Not, it feels very fat, like it's fatter than ever. And also we EQ'd it again to cut some frequencies. And then simply a kickstart. It's like the term of the fatter the better. When you are playing in a certain drop, you just really want to make it sound big. So this fat sub here truly works in this hard wave. And also this colorful quintuplets here comes from the sound design I just recently showed with the support of the sub bass. And then when the snare plays, we play this thing. Just to make it sound not really empty. Okay, about this part here, I used the mantra fill from my Hollywood Spitfire, which sounds like this. It sounds really great when it plays a trap section, and then we have the sound drop from the Sounds of Kashmir. And then, not just that, we have a very big fat sub from the gritty sub itself. It just sounds very big. Very big, very felt. It's just truly amazing. Disgusting yet amazing, honestly. And after that, we have a little fake out just to create some nice transition. And then we come back to the color house drop, which that is similar to the first drop, but the complexers are not different. These complexers will come from the melodic rhythm volume 1 sample pack. Like these glitch bits are really good as it feels. But one sound is not enough, so I added some others, like this one here, these pads from Shark Skull Bass, and then the half pattern here. They really sound good enough as a filler to the another part. Oh yeah, let's not forget about adding this color up here. And if we play together, yeah, that's pretty much of the second drop. Almost the same, like the first one, honestly, with some variations just to make it some not really boring. And then here comes the ending, which this is the lead from the hard wave part, and some others from the ending of the first drop. It's truly playing a lot of CPU, honestly. And the outro here is just simple. We fade out this 8-bit art. And this reverb here just to make the art sound brighter when it comes to the outro, so that we create a nice ending of the song. And finally, for the mastering, we don't really master too much. We simply EQ'd and limited it just to make sound a bit more ready. Speaking of mastering, I don't really care too much about mastering. I've been having so much fun in mixing, trying to get a certain sound, play in a nice spot, nice volume or nice frequency so that they don't sound clashing or jarring or annoying. But in this mastering phase here, we just simply added the EQ to cut a little of unwanted frequencies, and then this auto mastering here with the setting of aggressive and tight with some settings just like this. Alright, that covers pretty much of the Colourful main project breakdown. Thank you very much for watching the Colourful main breakdown until the end. I know I'm not really a good explainer as I'm not really used to speaking too much, honestly. And also, once again, I apologize for my PC that plays very laggy when it comes to a certain big project like this. But I hope this covers pretty much everything of what I wanted to explain about the project. But I hope this video here covers up pretty much everything about Colourful main, how to make a color house song like this. I also provided the sample pack consisting of all my songs in Ponies Blossom, and you can get it for free using the download link in the description. Anyway, if you have any thoughts or questions about this project, let me know in the comment section, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.